I want to get at some college football. We are joined right now by the quarterback for West Virginia, coming off a huge game in a win over number 25 Texas Tech. 370 yards passing. He had 3 touchdowns. He has passed for nearly 1,500 yards and 17 TDs this season. Nearly 3,500 yards and 34 touchdowns in 11 games last season. West Virginia 4-0 and 2-0 in conference. They are number 8 in the coaches poll, and they are hosting Kansas on Saturday, noon Eastern. Quarterback Will Grier is my guest. Will, good morning. Great to have you on. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on.
It's great to have you on, Will. All right, so you beat Texas Tech in their place on Saturday in a game where the focus had been to get off to a good start. You could not have gotten off to a better one, passing for nearly 200 yards, and you had a 28-7 lead in the first quarter. How were you able to get things rolling so quickly in that game?
Yeah, we started fast, talked about it all week, knew it was important. Came out and just executed. We were making tough, contested catches. We were finishing blocks and finishing drives and getting in the end zone. And that's, we got to figure out a way to play full game like that. But got to play 4 quarters, and that was a great start. But we got to figure out a way to execute it for an entire game.
That's funny. Well, I was going to say, listening to you and watching you, I would imagine that you would say that the second half didn't go as well. But before I could say it, you said it for me. Fact is, though, you still win that game on the road against a tough team. What's it say about your team that you were able to find a way to win on the road against a very good Texas Tech team when things weren't clicking in the second half?
Yeah, no doubt. Like you said, that was a good football team, and that was a big win. And after the game, we were kind of down as a team, and at the end of the day, that's our goal, is to get a win, and we won. I think what it says about our team is that we are really talented, and once we figure out a way to kind of put things together and play a full game, we're going to be really good. We as a whole, played well in the first half. There were still things that we missed in the first half that we got to correct. But when you talk about what we did in the second half, it was really just hurting ourselves, and that's stuff that's going to hurt us, down the road. So we've corrected it, and hopefully moving forward, we'll put ourselves in a better position to play a full game.
We're talking to West Virginia quarterback Will Grier. So when you left Florida, obviously you had a number of options. What was it about West Virginia and Dana Holgorsen that made you feel like that was the right place for you?
A lot of things, man. I love Dana. I think he's awesome. He's got a unique passion for this game. He's a great football coach and a great offensive mind. Really just an innovative coach. And I was really attracted to his style of coaching, his style of offense. It's a lot of fun to play in this offense. I have a lot of freedom. Something that I really was attracted to when you talk West Virginia, but also just the program as a whole. This state, the passion for football here is awesome. Saturdays are awesome here, and it's really an honor to play here.
We're talking to Will Grier. Now, Will, as people know, you come from a rather famous family now. I know you never want to make it about you, but what's it like when you see your name coming up on Heisman lists, and there's a lot of attention directed to you as a result of that? How are you approaching that?
I try to represent my family and my football family. When I say that, I'm saying really the whole state of West Virginia and this program. I just try to be, represent them as well as I can. I don't look into that hype as it's just not a focus of mine. My focus is on winning games, always has been, and doing the best I can to lead this team.
I had your teammate David Sills on the show last year, and it was very clear from the numbers that the two of you put up that there is a strong connection there. How would you describe the chemistry that the two of you have on the field?
We're very much on the same page, had a lot of reps together. He's obviously a really talented guy, but takes it to the next level. He's in the film room with me, just asking how he can get better, asking about, little things he can do to get open a little bit more. Kind of understands what I'm looking at kind of from a quarterback perspective. So he takes it to the next level with what he does off the field, and then it shows when obviously in his production on the field. We've built this relationship for a couple of years now on and off the field. Really respect him as a person and as a player.
West Virginia quarterback Will Grier, my guest. Will, you mentioned the film room. Coaches rave about your prep, the time you put in, especially when breaking down film. What are you looking for specifically in film sessions, and what have you taken away from them?
Well, I've learned, Jake Spavital does such a good job of just coaching football. When we sit in there and meet as much as we do, I've just learned so much about the game and about how to watch film, how to scheme, how to prepare. from him. So we've kind of gotten in a routine with it, and I've just kind of learned, kind of what he's looking for and how he's kind of, building the game plan, and we do it together. So by the time game time comes around, I'm very well prepared and understand what the other team's doing, understand what we're trying to do, run game and pass game, and really just kind of learn from how an offensive coordinator, I guess, puts together a game plan. And that's helped me, just learning ball, learning how to prepare, and I'm in a really good spot with it, and he's done an outstanding job of kind of bringing me along, and having 2 years with him has been outstanding for my development.
Heisman Trophy candidate Will Grier joining us for a few more moments. Of course, Will, you could have entered the draft last season, but you decided to come back. What was the decision-making process like for you, and then what brought you back to the Mountaineers?
Yeah, well, part of it, like we were just talking about, is just the development I've been able to, like with Spav and Dana, they just have made me a better player and helped me to learn football, and I've continued to develop a whole lot under those guys. So that was part of my decision, was getting another year to continue to get better, in the film room, but also on the field. And then, plenty of other things. When you talk the situation with me coming back, a lot of guys coming back, that we thought we would have a good football team, obviously, and there's a lot of guys that had played last year, had experience, that were a year older. We thought we'd have a good team this year, and a lot of excitement around the program, and I certainly don't mind playing here. I love the fans, like I said, and this program, and I'm really excited to come back more than anything. I thought that it would be a great deal for me and for everybody else involved in this program.
All right, Will, so you got your football family, and then you have your immediate family. You and your daughter, Ellie, have spent a lot of time watching Despicable Me. You've talked about how you're a huge fan of it. Break it down for me. What makes that show a must-watch?
All these kids' shows are impressive. I love them. We watch them all the time. Despicable Me is great. That's it's one of her favorites. There's 3 movies, and she loves all 3. The Minions are great. Steve Carell does an outstanding job as Gru. Big fan of Gru. It's you got to watch it. It's just it's a great kids show, but it's fun for the parents as well.
I hear you. One last thing, you've got to balance this whole thing, right? You got to be the quarterback and the leader of a top 10 team. You got to be a father. You have to be a Heisman Trophy candidate. I know that you're very much into mindfulness and meditation. How did you first get into it, and what do you get out of it?
I get a lot out of it. I actually recommend it to everybody, not just athletes or guys on this team, but I think it's a great practice for everybody to do, just to center yourself and practice focus. I got into it really last year. There's a guy, Mike Brummage is his name. He was, he's a war veteran. He actually practices it with other war vets, and he's a really interesting guy and really awesome guy. But he practiced with me last year before games and stuff like that, and I was doing it about once a week. And as I continue to do it throughout the season, during the off season, we talked and I got into doing it more, 2 or 3 times a week. And, I'm at a place now where I do it, almost every day. Just, 15, 20 minutes doesn't take long. But like I said, helps center yourself and helps practice focus. There's a lot of benefits you can get out of it without getting into it too much. I just recommend that people look into it. And, he kind of headed that up for me, and it's done a lot with, for me and football on and off the field. So it's something that, like I said, I recommend to everybody, and something that's your own kind of journey. So
without getting into it and without keeping you too long, just one quick follow. It's hard, though, right? It's hard. The first time that I tried to sit, and I don't do it nearly enough, but the first time that I tried to sit and think about nothing and clear my brain even for 1 minute, it was really challenging. Is that me, or is it that hard?
No, it is. It's a practice. It's something that you kind of grow. And you can do it for a little bit longer the next time, and as you practice and get good at it, you develop this sense of peace, I guess, and you can kind of clear your mind, and it helps in a lot of areas of life. It's something that grows, and that over time, once you do it, you get 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then it feels like nothing, and it just feels like second nature, and you kind of reset yourself, and it gives you a sense of energy for the rest of the day.
West Virginia 4-0 and 2-0 in conference play, and they are number 8 in the coaches poll. They're hosting Kansas on Saturday. Will Grier is their quarterback. Will, great to have you on the show. Great conversation. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your time, man. Thanks so much.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on.
That was fun, Will. Well done. Will Grier. Will Grier.